Hei, jeg heter Dagfinn Bang-Johansen. Jeg jobber i Kamude, og velkommen da til onsdagspraten i dag 15. april. Det er utrolig kjekt å ha så mange med på dette webinaret som vi kjører. Bakgrunnen for onsdagspraten det er å lage en arena for å se på ulike aspekter knyttet til virksomhetsstyring. Og vi trekker frem ulike spesialister og virksomheter som har gjort seg verdifulle erfaringer. Dette, onsdagspraten, presenteres av selskapene Glasspaper, som er da vårt moderselskap, sammen da Kamude og Extra Mile. Extra Mile leverer da e-læringsløsninger, mens Kamude da leverer et verktøy for virksomhetsstyring. Så, til onsdagspraten. Dette blir da absolutt best om vi får inn spørsmål og kommentarer, og om de legges da fortløpende i chatten, så tar vi og svarer på det mot slutten av webinaret. I dag er vi så heldige at vi kan introdusere Vic Pretorius. Vokst opp i Sør-Afrika og har militær bakgrunn, blant annet fra Fremmedlegion. Og har jobbet da i over 10 år med sikkerhet på ulike nivåer, på ulike steder i verden. Nå jobber han som seniorrådgiver i AEG Group, og holder fast, dette her kommer til å bli en blanding av norsk og engelsk, så velkommen. Welcome, Vic. Nice
Thank you, Dagfinn. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Can you please explain what is BCM, or Business Continuity Management?
Yes, business continuity management is a very interesting field. A few years ago, it was still a new sort of catchphrase in business. However, these days it's become essential to any business. Business continuity management focuses on 3 areas. Firstly, dealing with the contingency. Secondly, planning how to continue your core business should a contingency arise. And then the third component, obviously, is recovery planning or recovery management as well, and that's more long-term focus to reposition your business when a contingency has occurred.
Yeah. Is resilience or tilpasningsdykning, evne til å tilbakestille seg, resilience? Is that?
Yes, resilience. Resilience is basically how you make your business strong. How you make your business agile, how your business can maneuver through a contingency or a difficult period. Now, how to make your organization more resilient is through strong cultures, having risk management central to your business processes, having being open and transparent, and then training, building capacity within your organization, and that's how you become resilient. Actively planning as well for anything that could happen.
We will meet a new terminology here. What will you see a difference between challenge, crisis, or catastrophe?
Well, if you have a challenge or contingency, if you do not manage that challenge or contingency, it will soon turn into a crisis, and that crisis then will turn into a catastrophe. If you manage that challenge or contingency early on, you can mitigate all the problems that could happen later on. However, if it turns into a catastrophe, it will be difficult to manage, and your losses could be significant.
How did you end up in this BCM industry?
Well, like I said, business continuity planning was a catchphrase a few years ago. However, components of those business continuity management does form part of emergency management. Now, working in West Africa at the time and dealing with the Ebola crisis, that's when we actually started to understand the concept of business continuity management. Not only did we have to deal with the immediate consequences of the Ebola outbreak in West Africa, but we also needed to continue our business, and we needed to do so safely. We needed to communicate to our shareholders that we can do it safely, that we can conserve our primary objectives while dealing with this contingency. And we had to demonstrate to our workforce as well that, yes, this is serious, but we can continue if we have mitigation control measures in place. And then also what we did at that stage as well was to plan for the future. Worst case scenarios, best case scenarios, and how we would deal with those scenarios at the end of the day. So yeah, that's how I got into business continuity planning.
How did you build your competence, like practical or academic?
Well, actually, I was fortunate or maybe unfortunate. I'm not sure yet. But I only studied very late in my life. So I became very late. So I was almost 40 when I started studying.
40?
Yes.
Wow.
So I became a senior manager for a very large organization. And as such, I was sitting in boardrooms, listening to meetings, and I could participate. But I soon realized that I do not have all the tools. And that's when I started studying and making, business continuity one of those things that I looked into.
Do you have any examples of why companies should work with BCM?
Yes, definitely. We spoke about resilience.
Yeah.
If your company does not, or your organization does not position itself better than its competitors, it will lose market value. Now, BCM, or Business Continuity Management, provides you with that resilience to position yourself better, faster, and to recover faster. Ager Group currently works with a few organizations where we practice business continuity management in different levels of the organizations. Obviously, to have business continuity management as effective as possible, you need to implement it at a high level where people can make decisions and can make decisive decisions fast that can change the strategy for the medium to short term. Now, we have clients in the oil and gas industry, which we assist with business continuity management.
Okay, in what way?
Well, currently there is a significant contingency happening globally. However, what they've realized is that they were able to treat the immediate contingency. In other words, manage the initial crisis, which was a short-term thing, which is between 3 and 5 days. However, what happens after that? That's where we came in, and we've explained to them that moving beyond the 3 to 5 days, you need to look at your business. How can you maintain your business? How can you continue to make money without losing money? So they needed to restructure certain components of their business, and then moving beyond that business continuity part, where they had to look at their long-term prospects as well, which is, yeah.
We have seen that when a lot of companies has this ISO standard, then you level up the companies on a kind of standard, and then you have to go further on. How do you see that?
Yes, listen, ISO standards is a wonderful tool to use. However, it's a minimum standard. It's a minimum standard.
Yeah.
If you apply the principle of volunteerism, if your organization is constantly looking to better itself, to go beyond what standards dictate, that's when you start developing. The moment you comply to minimum standards, that's what you apply, minimum standards, and that's what you would like to avoid.
How do companies, as the way you see it, succeed with their work with business continuity management?
Well, business continuity management, if you don't plan, there could be serious repercussions for your organization. We live in, or we persist in, a very volatile and highly competitive business environment. And if you don't position yourself early or better than your competitors, you will lose. This is where business continuity management assists you to better plan the whole process, when there's a contingency, how to deal with the contingency, and make a long-term strategy to recover fully. Simply put, organizations that does not recover fully will cease to exist within the marketplace. Or their share will be so little in the marketplace that they've lost their footprint.
What kind of level, you said a little bit about it, to get a real ownership in the companies you're working for, and what you see other people as making success with BCM?
Well, the best thing you can do is start to put risk and risk management central to your organization, to your business processes. The moment you start looking at risk incessantly, assessing those risks, that's when you start implementing the mitigation control measures. The moment you do that, that becomes a catalyst for continuous improvement. The second thing I would definitely advise is to build strong, open, transparent cultures within an organization. These cultures should be behavioral, should encourage people to participate, should not be punitive, should be flat in its structure as well. As an example of a behavioral cultural system, and this is probably one of the best I've ever seen in my life. When I worked in the mining industry, we had a system called PASS, which was Positive Attitude Safety System.
Okay, let's take that one more. Positive
Attitude Safety System. Safety system.
All right, from mining in Western Africa. All right. Okay,
well,
let me hear about it.
Let's put it this way. Yes, we used it in mining. It's transplantable.
What kind of challenge did they have?
Well, very simply, it's a simple system. It was designed for people that it was designed to save time, to induce a behavior that can, make things more efficient and make things safe for us.
Okay, so the problem in the mining was that they were not that efficient, and they also had some accidents.
Yes, well, we didn't have accidents, but there could have been accidents. There was near misses. High risk environment.
Okay.
What made this system significant is its simplicity, based on basically 3 questions. If you had a normal day, it was an A day. If you had a safety improvement, it was an A day. If you had a normal day, it was a B day. If you had a C, it was a safety incident. What we did eventually.
Who decided if what kind of day, it was a normal day, a good day, normal day, or a not so good day?
Well,
who was
the teams itself? What we did, yes. What we did is we divided the whole workforce into small work teams, and the team would discuss it amongst themselves, and they would then decide: did we have an improvement? Yes, no. Was it a normal day? Did we have an incident? And this would then get reported back to the manager. The manager would take it into the operations meeting, gets reported to the director of operations, and from there on, we would then take it onto notice boards, and every team's day would be reported. What made this very significant is that if there was a safety improvement, a lot of the times these improvements were implemented across the whole project. That resulted in that people on the ground were feeling that they were seen, they were participating, and that changed the whole culture on our project.
Would it? I mean, this was a mining industry in Western Africa, where just to summit, you had this three A day, B day, C day. Would this be? Is this adaptable for Norwegian companies?
Definitely. What you can do, and what we've done successfully in other projects as well, we've changed it and we've transplanted the principle into environmental stewardship, into operational management as well, where the system basically reports on every structure within the organization. And that's where the culture then becomes can become a resilient vector, we can say.
So you can say HMS or recruitment or development or IT security or quality or environmental.
It's absolutely transplantable. Anyone can use it. Any team can use it. Yes, you probably have to take 5 minutes to think how you're going to apply it to your situation. But once you have, it's easily applicable.
I guess one of the results was you had a strong culture, build a strong culture.
We did, and we were very proud of that culture. Not only management. Keep in mind that management was not driving the system.
No, it was driven by the
They were just
staff.
They were participants in the system. So people were very proud of the organizational culture. And when the Ebola crisis came, that culture was actually one of the main levers that we could use to counter the disease.
Regarding Ebola virus, we have a familiar virus these days. So what kind of advice would you give to, I mean, if you're running a restaurant or a school or some kind of factory today, what kind of advice would you go to them when they're now starting off after?
Well, yes. Here I would definitely say, make sure, for those of you who haven't done it, make sure that you communicate with your employees regularly, keep them up to date, tell them what's happening, tell them what your business position is. Before you restart or even consider reopening your business, which might come in the future, conduct a risk assessment, see how you can provide a safe, healthy work environment for your employees. If you can't do that, consider not reopening. I would definitely also look at the financial side of the business. Depending on the business and your core activities, the financial implications could be significant. Look at what sort of assistance the government might be offering you. See what other streams of financial advice you can get from experts in the field, and then see how best you can manage the funds that you have and how you can adapt your business according to those funds.
To me, you're talking about very different kind of topics from the industry, and you also guided me to a word called interlinked. Interlinked. To me, it sounds like complex.
Not really. Dagfinn, yes. What most businesses don't understand is, sadly, and it is a good thing, everything is interlinked. If you look at your human resources, your environmental department, your health and safety department, compliance, your anti-corruption policies in your organization, they're all interlinked. At the end of the day, you're looking at your global risk profile. And your global risk profile is health and safety, the security of your people, the financial implications, your reputation, and then legal implications as well. So as an example, if you let the employee go unjustly, and that employee goes to a a lawyer and he gets restitution. Obviously, reputational risk if it gets into the media. You've got legal problems, and then you've got financial impacts as well. So everything is interlinked. It might be that they're not all sequenced at the same time, but they are interlinked, and this must be understood by businesses.
Definitely. If you would like to give, if you had the ability to give 3 good advices to our audience here, and which they are leading their companies, what kind of advices would that be? If you had 3.
Very simple. Ensure that you practice good risk management. That drives continuous improvement. Build strong cultures within your organization. Essential. Build capacity in your organization. Train people. Give them the tools to succeed. Constantly review your business position. Know where you are. Know your environment, your business environment. And then if you have a business continuity plan, know your plan, but remain flexible. If you don't have a business continuity plan, start looking into it immediately.
Talk to someone that knows this.
Talk to someone that knows it. And if there's a contingency, act early. The sooner you act and the sooner you make the hard decisions, the better your long-term prospects will be.
So prepare for the next crisis situation.
Well, yes.
Challenge, crisis. Yeah.
Next, I would call it a challenge, but there is definitely a lot of challenges that we can expect in the near future, especially business and financial crises. The current climate does not lean itself to a very easy short-term future for business.
Thank you, Vic. I think this has been very interesting and valuable. Thank you so much for sharing your competence from you and your AEG group. Så, takk for innsatsen her, ja. Takk til publikum. Så ser jeg frem til spørsmål. Vi vil ta en spørsmålsrunde etterpå, se hva som har kommet inn. Og før vi går over til spørsmålene, så runder jeg av denne første filmbiten med, og jeg håper at dette ga mersmak til å gjøre en endring på din arbeidsplass, til å følge med på neste onsdags webinar, til å følge Kamude på LinkedIn, og se om det kanskje finnes en software som kan hjelpe deg med å gi deg business continuity management og kontroll på det. Så gi oss en lyd, og i mellomtid får dere ha det fint da.
Hei, det er Andreas Halvorsen bak kamera. Jeg vil gjerne takke deg for at du fulgte med dette opptaket. Om du har noen forslag til temaer vi bør belyse, eller ønsker å få vite noe mer om Kamude og GRC, ta kontakt med Dagfinn Bang-Johansen i Kamude.